as we give you the CRV update, Dylan, go ahead and slide it over. There it is, baby. There it is. 400,000. Yesterday, in front of my my neighbor's house on the CRV, the countdown to 400,000 has been realized. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, in all of its glory, 400,000 miles.
And just happened in front of your neighbor's driveway.
Yes.
And it's not staged. It just happened there.
How do you stage mileage?
By driving around and around the block.
Rob would never do that.
No,
and
Rob would
remember,
never
the
do, yeah.
original date was supposed to be February 26th.
02262026.
That was your estimate, but we were only off by
1
8
week.
days?
Yeah.
1 week.
Yeah.
1 week.
Actually, what is today? The
4th?
It's Thursday. So 5 days. But as I looked at the mileage about 3 months ago, I actually thought March 2 or 3 would be the more likely day. But I didn't want to change the actual projected date because I like the numerology of 02262026.
Yeah, and as you sent us a photograph last night, Miss Adjacent Maria said, let's have a party. And said, Bill will bring the cake, coconut carrot cake, and I'll bring the champagne. Well, I thought I would bring the cake, but no champagne. But Maria brought the champagne.
She literally did bring champagne.
Yeah.
And orange juice.
And orange juice
For mimosas.
Mimosas.
Because it would be a little tacky to just drink champagne at 10 o'clock when we go off.
Well,
but maybe not.
As Jimmy Buffett and Alan Jackson sang, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, it is. Exactly.
So now Bill has contributed to the day by bringing in coconut cake. Now, don't be fooled by the fact that there's 3 carrots on top of this cake.
You know my wife's listening, Rob. So be careful how far down the road.
This is coconut cake. I don't care what it looks like or what the carrots on top say. It's coconut cake. And our guests also brought in desserts, although it has nothing to do with the rolling to 400,000 miles of the CRV.
We're in the money today.
Yeah, we do. Let's welcome in Sandy Lynch and Candy Reid. Good morning, Candy. How are you?
Good. And we bring greetings from Virginia Sine.
Oh, the wonderful
and
Virginia
she is sorry
Sine.
she couldn't be here.
Well, she said she likes to stay in the background, and she wanted you to know that she
Oh,
loves
my goodness.
working in the background.
Well,
So you guys can.
This
So
is
she sent,
overwhelming.
gifts to kind of calm the blood.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, more than anybody I know, Virginia Sine is never in the background. She may not be present, but she's always there. So.
No.
And
That's
this
how I
is
view it,
one
too.
woman that it is very difficult, Virginia, I know you're listening, to say no to.
Absolutely.
She asks you, and you say, I'm not sure. Okay, I'll come back and ask you again. So
And yet, so far, you've resisted.
I've resisted right
So
now.
far.
But she will not give up until I say yay.
Virginia's amazing. We love Virginia, of course. Long career in Berkeley County. She was part of the crew, along with Bob Rizzo, that asked me to be the keynote. I think Joe Ferretti has done this. Joe Manchin did it at the, around Columbus Day. They have the Italian club here locally. Used to have a dinner over at the Dan DiMucci Lodge. They'd have the dinner in Hagerstown. So I spoke there and got to know Virginia better and such. And, Virginia's Italian. Don't let that Sine last name fool you. She is actually Italian.
Yes, she is.
As well as Bob Rizzo. So anyway, but thank you, Virginia. We appreciate all the goodies that you sent in. And Candy, the name is apt here with all the sweets that we have
Just
here.
Remember that. Yes,
Right?
sweet, yes.
And Sandy, you guys are here because of a dinner to honor Virginia Sine.
And I just want to add to what Maria was saying. Not only can you not say no, most of us can't. We laugh, but we're so glad. She can literally, we can be in a meeting and we need something and she starts texting. It used to be you picked up the phone and called people, and people take her calls. So let's just be clear about that. Now she just texts, and when we're at a meeting trying to figure out we need this, we need that, who can we call, and she figures it all out, and she sells tickets. She just has so many connections, and it's not just here in Berkeley County, but it's the decades of serving the county that she has made friends and good relationships with people all over the state. So people love her.
Ken, let's set the stage if we can. This is an annual Virginia Sine dinner, but this dinner's been going on for quite a while. What was the predecessor of the dinner before it was known as Virginia Sine Dinner?
It was just called our Democrat. We have had different themes, like it was an elimination dinner for years. We've revamped it. We're still giving away some cash prizes. You can win $1,000. So in the years it has changed, but it was always an annual dinner in the spring. But of course, this is a campaign year, so it's with the primaries, it's more heated, and we have better attendance. So in the off years, we've been trying to ramp it up, and we've been doing with prizes and the $1,000 grand prize. We have some guest speakers from time to time, and this year all the local candidates are invited and will be there. And we have a social hour from 6 to 7. You'll have the opportunity to meet them in person, talk with them, tell them your concerns. It's a wonderful opportunity to meet them up
All
close
the
and
Democratic candidates.
Yes,
For the primary,
but Republicans are certainly invited. They
sure.
can come. We're open to, the doors are open. So
Good.
Right.
Now,
we welcome them.
Since the Republicans closed their primary, I thought it meant that they couldn't go to this dinner.
That's funny.
Yeah, good for you. No, we give him a point for that. No,
Or a
we
cookie.
Cookie. Have a cookie. Yeah, I think we could take a cookie when somebody gets scores today. Just to take a bite. Yeah. No, the door is open. However, as our organization, we're going to allow time for our candidates to actually speak, and we're talking just a couple minutes because we're expecting quite a few. The Democrats, the Republicans would be introduced and stand, but the Democratic candidates will actually address the crowd for just a few minutes. But your best time is to meet them at the social hour, 6 to 7. They'll walk around.
And that'll be nice because I'm going to chime in now. That'll be nice because the Wolf Shea duo will be there, and I'll be singing with them. They're a jazz group here in town, and it's wonderful. As you know, there's a new studio in town called the Orpheum Drum Room or something like that, rehearsal hall, and so people are starting to, get more jazz in town. So I think that's
nice.
wonderful.
Yeah, good jazz club.
Are all the seats? Is there a Democratic candidate for all the seats this year?
All but 2. That's huge for us.
Okay.
We have all the seats filled with a candidate, except for 2 races. And,
Which of those 2?
The 16th and
in the Senate race.
yeah, that's the Senate
Okay.
race.
Okay, that's the Senate. Okay, and
That would
then
be Jason Barrett's
right,
seat.
Right.
And we did, we fought down to the last
Yeah.
moment. I was on the phone that night with a couple people till almost midnight when the filing closed. So we were trying. You have to start early, and we had several potential candidates, viable candidates. And for whatever reason, when it got to the moment to file, they just had, things just happened. But we've worked on it very hard.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lot to run for office. We were just discussing that yesterday with social media and the attacks that you have to withstand from people you've never met and who don't even know you, but see a letter beside your name and decide you're evil because of that. It's a
Exactly.
different world
Difficult.
out there.
Very difficult.
Well, and back in the day, you all have been doing this for a long time, and knowing people who run for office, door to door, having that personal relationship, having somebody come knock on your door at the dinner hour, you don't know what's going to happen now. People are very suspicious. I had somebody come in yesterday and try and sell me a new internet provider. Just knocked on the door. I was like, that's weird. Anyway, but it's a different world.
Well, it's all digital media. So now candidates, it's not just about raising money, having your messaging. You've got to be a whiz at social media, or have a campaign manager who is. The name of the game is how much content you can create that's meaningful, and that people are engaged to listen. They'll stop because it's easy to scroll on by. So that has upped the game. Those are skills that our generation didn't grow up with, of course.
But also having someone run against a popular incumbent is a pretty tough task.
Yes. And we have some that are younger. We have some young candidates. So, and honestly, we've had more engagement this year. We feel a shift in the wind. We filled more slots on the ballot than we've filled in the last couple of years. We've seen even some young people in our high schools protest peacefully, take a stand. We just feel that things are a little different with what all has been going on the last couple of years, really the last couple of months. So we are energized. People are anxious to vote. and I think they're anxious to vote in these primaries.
Well, in Texas last night, they said the turnout was similar to a general election.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
On the Democratic side, not so with the Republican side. Republican side was somewhat subdued.
So,
You know, this dinner that we're having, the last few years, we've been able to maintain an office in town, and which has been really nice.
Headquarters.
And headquarters, yeah. And candidates come there, and we do meet and greets, and we have meetings, and we do trainings there, and we have volunteers that man the office. Like myself, I man the office on Thursdays, so it's always nice to be there on Thursdays. And so because of that, this dinner, there's a couple of things about this dinner. Besides raising money for the office, we also have a food drive going on for the veterans. Operation Full Plate is, I think I was on last year with that.
Yeah. And you're a veteran. So.
Right. So we're hoping that folks will bring a non-perishable item, and we're going to have some bins there that they can drop that off in. So that would be very nice if folks would do that for us and help out the VA, because they've lost their funding for food. So
Okay, we've been talking kind of around it. Where's it going to be? When it's going to be?
Yeah.
What time and the like? So,
Saturday, March 21st at
Okay.
Heritage Hall in Inwood. And doors open at 6, dinner at 7. Games will begin soon. The awards, the prizes, the raffles. Candidates will be speaking throughout the night quickly and as we roll everybody through. Tickets on sale if you go to our Facebook. It's Berkeley County Democratic Party. But we are the Berkeley County Democratic Executive Committee today. But our Facebook is under Democratic Party, and you can see the ticket link. You can also go to our website and purchase tickets and as well. So they're $60.
Seek out members of the executive committee,
Right.
Is
because we
there-
all have tickets.
I would ask you a technical question here about party and candidate. So Joe DeSoto, when he was elected last year, switched to the Democratic Party. He was replaced with a Republican, Joe, in the House. Was that Joe Funkhauser? Right?
no.
No,
Funk
Ian
House,
Masters?
Ian Masters.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, Ian Masters. Joe replaced Paul Espinosa. Same party. That was not the case. So last I'd heard, that was a court case, and I've not heard anything about it since. So is there an update on that?
I don't have an update, but I do know we did everything we could to fight that decision. But we're in the minority. We have very little voice. I don't know if you probably did hear that we had a kitchen table listening tour. That,
Mike Pushkin told us about
Right. And they were in Martinsburg back in September, and our committee organized. We worked with Purple Iris along with Jefferson County and set up the site, and people were lined up. And there were maybe 5 or 7, I forget, that traveled with the group that represents the Democratic Party at our House and Senate. And each of them took a few minutes to speak about what was important to them. And then we took questions, and I'm telling you, people were lined up to come in. We had to bring in more chairs. It was actually filmed. There were 2 cameras, nice cameras in the back, and I interviewed the guys, and I said, who were you all representing? They were from WVU. It was a journalism class. I thought that was great that they go around and do this. And then they create a news broadcast, and they show some of the footage, which we had access to. So the listening tour was very successful here, and it continued on throughout the state. So, those guys admitted, we're small. There's not many of us, but we are loud in our voices, and we take up time speaking, and people have to listen to us. So that's, and a lot of the questions had to do with what potential is there for us. Well, the best thing is run for office, get candidates on the ballot, give people a choice between a Democrat and a Republican. Hopefully they get out and meet the person, and they vote. That's what we have to do.
Before you go, Bill, hang on there a second. So in the state, when I talked to the Secretary of State, the voter breakdown between Republicans, Democrats, and independents is pretty close. I think it might be like 40% Republican, then like 30 something to that. Do you know what the exact breakdown is?
I do
Right,
not.
it's pretty
There's
close
a lot of
to that.
independents. There are a lot of
Right,
independents.
about
And,
30
they're being shut out of the Republican
Yes,
primary.
but not the
Yeah.
Democratic primary.
No.
But about a third of the state is independents. A little bit more than that is Republicans, and then a little bit less than that is Democrats. Excuse me. But when you look at the ratio of Democrats to Republicans in the House and the Senate,
Yes.
it's like 91-9 in the House and 32-2 in the Senate.
Right.
Why is that disparity so great, whereas the voter registration is not?
Well, I don't have any idea really, but it's because we haven't had candidates running, and we've been trying really hard to, get candidates to run.
Exactly.
And so that's really the only reason. I mean, there's just nobody it's hard to overcome the majority, So, but that's why we have this dinner. That's why we have our office. That's why we're hoping to train candidates this year. It's a good thing.
Shifts come and go. Trends come and go.
Right.
And for many years this was a Democratic state, and things flipped. We do feel that there's some energy in the air. I mean, we really do. We're hoping that we can get some people elected. Even if we don't take the majority, we can get more voices to speak on behalf of people. And one side note, we started a petition yesterday morning and asked voters, or asked people on our Facebook page, we're against the data center that's being proposed. Well, it's not being proposed, it's being built. Yeah. How do you feel about it? And we posted a petition, and we have a free platform. Well, we busted that and had to upgrade 3 times because over 200 people have voted in less than 24 hours against it. And when I say vote, not really vote, but just sign the petition. So, and there are Republicans and Democrats on this, because they sign up with their name and address and then say I'm against it, and they sign their name.
Well, there's a lot of fear about what that's going to do to water and energy supplies.
Exactly. So I think
the housing market too.
Yeah, people are energized. These are the kinds of things that people get energized about. So maybe they will stop and think, and when they go to vote, say, this is what I'm for and this is what I'm against.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, talking about a couple minutes ago, the seat you're running for. One, we mentioned 16th Senatorial District, Jason Barrett's incumbent. The other one is the House District 93, thanks to Brad Knoll, and that is Mike Hornby's district. So Mike does not have an opponent, nor does Jason in the journal. So.
Yeah. So
Maria?
So do you think when we're talking about how the state shifts sometimes, that many people on the Republican side of the ballot have aligned themselves with the president when the president's approval ratings were higher than they are right now? And I don't know really, I haven't read enough or looked at it enough in West Virginia to see if that shift has occurred. But it kind of makes sense that if you kind of hitch your wagon to that star and that star is at the top, but in an off-year election, that star isn't there anymore. So if people have become either discouraged with the star or feel like they need something new, maybe this is the time. I don't know.
that's what we're hoping for.
This kind of circles back to what we were talking about earlier with Texas. There's a lot of analogy between what we're seeing in West Virginia and Texas. And last night indicated that the Democrats were much more energized than the Republicans. And also I was struck with the fact that the Democratic candidate was the one that was nominated last night, wanted to cross party lines, was reaching out as opposed to taking a more stringent tact.
Right. And, I was in Charleston this weekend for another event, and I met a guy, a young guy, who is now a staffer but held a delegate position in the House state some time ago, and I introduced myself and said, what's your party affiliation? We struck up a conversation, and he said, I remember the time when I was first elected, the House, the Republicans were still in the majority, but it was more of a 60-40, and he said, we got more done. We worked together. We listened. Now there's very little of that, and he actually advocated for a more balanced legislature. So let's hope enough people feel like him.
And John Doyle said the same when it was Democrats had 90 to 88 to 12, I think it was at one point, whatever it was. When you have a supermajority, you end up infighting too much, and you don't need anybody else's help.
And we've seen that. We've certainly seen that, experienced that with the current structure, the way it is. It didn't take long for the divisiveness to really occur.
3 minutes to go. Let's sell some
Virginia Sine annual dinner tickets.
Yes, it's Saturday, March 21st. Tickets are $60. It's at Heritage Hall, which is at 8539 Winchester Avenue down in Inwood, South Berkeley County. We're looking forward to having a really fun night. We even have a bake sale that we
Should I ask them the question?
Yeah, ask.
Okay. All right. We have a bake sale in memory of Millie Shepard, and we're going to auction off some amazing cakes, cookies, all kinds of things. And we're going to have some homemade pepperoni rolls. Now, do you know where and why, who made them famous, how we got pepperoni rolls. Do you know
No,
the history?
tell us.
You really? Okay.
Does anybody know? Do either?
Fun
of you two-
fact. This is a fun fact. It was started in Fairmont.
Right.
And it was also started by to help coal miners who went down in the mines to work and their hands were dirty. They didn't have access to, cleaning up. They had a lunch pail and they would just pull these things out, unwrap them, and they were made for the coal miners. That's how we got pepperoni rolls.
I've heard that story before.
Oh, okay. Well, then you did know. All right. See, I learned something new when I saw that on Facebook. But anyway,
That's cool. And again, how do you get the tickets?
Facebook, Berkeley County Democratic Party, and you'll scroll down, you'll see the link to purchase tickets, or our website, Berkeley County Democratic Executive Committee.
And the lady
Act Blue too.
and the lady that you can't say no to is at the top of this name of the dinner, the Virginia Sine annual dinner. So-
Exactly. And we're here to honor her. Yes.
And everyone's welcome to social hour before dinner as well as
6 to 7, yes. And
that's not always been the case, at least from the Republican side. At one time, you could go to the dinner, but you had to pay extra to go to the social hour.
Oh no, we want you in the door at 6, and last year it was full. I looked up, we're setting up, and it was full at 5 after 6. So come, yes,
And
come.
if you have a minute left, just a word about Virginia Sine.
She's, we laugh because of her influence, and some of us have been under her thumb, to do things. But she's served our county for nearly 6 decades. And she's the one who would summon you to jury duty, and she worked in the clerk's office. But the other thing that's interesting, when she started, there were, all the files, everything was on a typewriter and paper and print, along comes the digital age. And so the whole county office or clerk's office had to upgrade. And she talks about some of that. And, our generation, her generation, we've had to learn all that. So she has witnessed the number of clerks go from 2 to 20, and the number of judges, and lots of changes. And she's an interesting person to talk to if you want the history.
And she's a paisan.
Yes,
I'm going to give her the Godfather theme on the way out, Virginia. You've earned it at this point. As the ladies have said, everybody's been under your thumb at some point along the way. Thank you, ladies. Candy and
Thank
Sandy,
you.
much appreciated.